Hi, I'm Pastor Josh, and I thank you for giving some consideration to sending your children or grandchildren or other children that you know in the community to camp. Church camp is a very important experience for children in the congregation, in the church, in the world. Myself, I wouldn't be a pastor had I not attended church camp when I was a kid. When I was about 12 years old, my grandmother sent me to a Lutheran church camp, and it was there that I was first asked the question, have you ever thought about being a pastor? I was in line waiting for lunch. We were standing in the gravel, and I wasn't forming the best line that I could. I was encouraging other kids to have fun and goof off. And it was at that moment that I felt a tap on my shoulder. I thought to myself, oh no, I'm in trouble. And it was a lady who turned me around and gave me a stern look and said, have you ever thought about being a pastor? And I looked at her and I said, no, why? She says, because you remind me of my husband, and I think you should think about that. I didn't know what to do, so I got in line and encouraged everybody else to get in line behind me or in front of me, and I went about my business without giving it much thought. However, about a week or two later, it was that same summer, I was at my grandparents' house. My brother and I were playing around out back in the creek and running up and down the hill, and the pastor's wife snuck out back to see what was going on, to take some time for herself. And she was opening the door to go out as I was opening the door to go in. It was one of those old aluminum doors that make a certain banging noise whenever you touch them. And I opened that door as fast as I could. It made a big boom. It made her jump. It made me jump when I scared the pastor's wife, who had been there for supper with our family. And she stopped me and she looked me dead in the eye. I was waiting to get chewed out, and she said, have you ever thought about being a pastor? I don't know why either one of these people said these things, but it was very important in my life that somebody took the time to do so. Again, I don't know if I'd be a pastor today had these experiences not happened to me when I was a child. I'd encourage you to consider sending your kid to camp, that they may better discern who God has made them to be, that they better get an opportunity to live in the Christian community that we have promised them as part of their baptismal vows. Church camp in general, is a very important experience for our youth. We would encourage you as the congregation to consider this, whether it's a church camp or any camp. Another important camp in my life was a YMCA camp. I went to a YMCA camp and hiked part of the Appalachian Trail. Actually, when I was about 13 or 14. We hiked about 40 miles backpacking. It was a wonderful bonding experience. It helped me to see and appreciate a piece of God's creation that I had never seen or appreciated before. I now walk and hike every single day of my life. I may have hiked a little bit of the Appalachian Trail, and now living in Wisconsin, I'm hiking the Ice Age Trail. I'm about to finish a big segment, Washington County, as I record this. It's amazing what happens when we plant seeds in our kids when they're young, how they come to fruition in God's timing and in God's place. I hope that you'll consider to plant some seeds in your children's lives. Help them to be a deeper part of our community as the church, that God's will may be done in their lives. If you ever want to talk about church camp and the opportunities that we have in the ELCA or broader opportunities, I would welcome that. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for your time. God bless you and your family.